Oasis Audio presents The Boutique in Bar Harbor, Secrets in Maine, Book 4, by Amy Rafferty. Read for you by Anne Richardson. To Roslyn, Nikki, Chris, and Franklin, thank you for your support, friendship, and inspiration. Chapter 1. Cara Rivers and her good friend Micah Michaels quietly scaled the walls of a Bel Air mansion. They were both wearing long-sleeved lycra shirts, puffy jacket vests, lycra pants, beanies, latex gloves, and rubber-soled sneakers, all in black. Even the small backpacks they had slung over their shoulders were black. Cara and Micah skillfully landed softly on the grass and hid behind shrubbery bushes. Cara checked her wristwatch. It was 2:30 in the morning. She pulled the infrared imaging camera from her backpack and scanned the front of the house, looking for heat signatures. "It looks like your contact was correct, Micah." Cara's voice was low. "The house is empty." She looked at the petite woman with wisps of golden blonde hair escaping from the confines of her beanie and grinned. "At least the front of the house is." "If you'd let me finish testing my new infrared imager, we could have seen the entire house without having to sneak around to the back." Micah looked at Cara with raised eyebrows. "There wasn't time," Cara reminded her. "This assignment has to be done tonight while the owners are still out of town." Cara handed Micah the infrared imaging device as they silently moved around the back of the house. Micah ran the device over the house and Cara pulled a lock-picking kit from a pocket in her puffer vest. "Yes, we didn't want to run into a mob family while relieving them of..." Micah's eyes widened as she looked at the heat signature that came up on the device. "There's a dog inside." "Did you bring the doggy snacks?" Cara looked at her questioningly before glancing at the image on the device and frowning. "Yes, I have the special doggy treats." Micah patted a pocket of her puffer vest and looked at the back door, then back at the imaging device. "I wonder why the dog hasn't moved." Cara moved closer to the back door to examine the lock and chose the tool she needed to open it. "Maybe it hasn't hurt us." Cara's heart lurched and her hand shook slightly as she feared the dog was sick or injured. "You think maybe it's old and deaf?" Micah took Cara's open kit from her while Cara got to work picking the lock. "Let's hope it's that," Cara said softly as the lock clicked, and she stood, taking her kit back from Micah and putting her tools away, then pocketing them. "How long did your contact say the owners have been away?" "A week." Micah looked at Cara worriedly. "I'm sure they would have hired someone to look after their dog." "I guess we're about to find out." Cara turned the door handle and quietly pushed the door open, glancing at the imaging machine to see that the dog still hadn't moved. "It hasn't moved, and it doesn't look like it's too far from the back door." "It's still alive," Micah pointed out, and she glanced at Cara, who took out her powerful pen light that Micah had designed. "Let's hope the dog is just old and deaf." Cara switched the light on and shone it around the modern kitchen as she stepped inside. "Or it's well-trained and playing possum until we enter the house," Cara suggested. "Not all dogs are as smart as Franklin," Micah reminded her. "As you stated before, it's possible the dog is sick, but I'll get the treats ready anyway." As they inched their way further into the kitchen, Cara glanced at the petite woman beside her. Micah was 5'4" and didn't stand much taller than Cara's shoulder. She looked at the imaging device, which showed the dog to be a good size. "Stay behind me until we know what we're dealing with," Cara instructed. "We don't want a repeat of the Vancouver incident." A year ago, when they'd gone to Vancouver on an assignment, a dog had attacked Micah and taken a bite out of her calf. It had been a horrific ordeal, which ended with Micah getting 20 stitches and having to go for...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?